questions, answers on our quest. Find your truth and live your best.
Let's talk about one of the most influential and maybe one of the most intimidating books in history, the Bible. It can feel like a huge, unapproachable thing, right? Well, it really doesn't have to be. We're going to use the YOUCAT, the Youth Catechism, as our map to make sense of it all. Okay, so first things first, let's tackle the biggest question right out of the gate. When you hold a Bible in your hands, are you holding just one single book? Or is it something bigger? Honestly, the answer to this question completely changes how you read it. And the clue is right there in the name. The word Bible actually comes from the Latin word biblia, which means the books. Yep, plural. So this isn't one book, it's a whole library. It's this incredible collection of writings by different people in different styles that was put together over 1,000 years. Just think about that for a second. Now, this library is split into two main sections. First up, you've got the Old Testament. These are the sacred scriptures of the Jewish people, and for Christians, they set the stage for everything that's to come. Then there's the New Testament, which contains the specifically Christian texts. For believers, this is where the story hits its climax. It's not two different stories, but one single, epic story about God's relationship with all of us. So, let's start at the beginning. The YOUCAT frames the Old Testament as the launchpad for this incredible history of faith, the very start of a massive spiritual journey. So, how big is this first section of the library? Well, the Catholic Old Testament has 46 different books. That's a lot. It's this rich, diverse collection, and each book has its own unique flavor and purpose. And these books are all so different. You've got the historical books, which tell the epic story of the people of Israel, from creation in Genesis all the way through their struggles and their victories. And then you have the wisdom books, which are just full of beautiful poetry, like the Psalms, and really practical advice on how to live a good life.
And of course, you can't forget the prophets. These were men and women who spoke for God. They were always challenging people to be more faithful, reminding them of God's promises and giving them hope for the future. Their voices are absolutely essential to the whole story.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, but why are these ancient Jewish scriptures so important for Christians today? Well, the YOUCAT nails it with this quote. Without the Old Testament, you just can't get the full picture of Jesus. I mean, he grew up with these scriptures. They were his prayer book, his history, they were everything, and they all point to him. So that brings us to the second half of the library. The New Testament is where Christians believe all those promises from the Old Testament finally come true, where the story finds its fulfillment. This part of the library is a bit smaller, a more compact collection of 27 books, and they were all written in a much shorter span of time, in the decades right after Jesus' life. Okay, at the absolute center of the New Testament, and really for Christians, the entire Bible, are the four Gospels. These are the accounts of Jesus' life, his teachings, his death, and his resurrection. Right after them comes the Acts of the Apostles, which is this incredible action-packed story of how the church got its start. I love how the philosopher Blaise Pascal said it. You don't find the God of Jesus Christ in some abstract theory. You find him on the paths that are taught in the gospel. For Christians, the Gospels are the #1 way to actually meet Jesus. The rest of the New Testament is mostly made up of letters or epistles. These were written by early church leaders like the Apostle Paul to help guide and encourage the very first Christian communities. And then the whole thing wraps up with the book of Revelation, which is this wild, powerful, symbolic vision of the end of time. So we've walked through the library, we've seen the layout, but the YOUCAT makes it super clear that the Bible isn't just some old book you study. It's an invitation to actually encounter someone. This is a really famous quote from Saint Jerome, the guy who translated the whole Bible into Latin. And what he's saying is huge. For a Christian, getting to know the Bible isn't just extra credit. It's essential. It's the main way you get to know Jesus Christ personally. And what if you looked at it this way? This quote from Kierkegaard totally shifts your perspective. What if, instead of a confusing rule book or a dry history text, the Bible is actually a love letter, a personal message from God written straight to you? Kind of changes things, doesn't it?
And that really gets to the whole point of it all. The goal of all these books, the stories, the poetry, the prophecies, the letters, isn't just to fill your head with facts about God, it's to give you a path to actually meet God, especially in the person of Jesus.
So we'll end with this thought from Pope Benedict XVI. The Bible isn't a book where everything is already figured out. It's the start of an adventure. It's a place where you can be totally surprised by an encounter with Christ. So, is the Bible just a book, or is it an invitation to the most surprising and beautiful journey of your life? I guess that's for you to find out.
Faith, hope,